9 nighttime habits that can end your life after 70, and you don't even suspect it. Have you ever wondered what really happens to your body while you sleep? Could a simple nighttime habit put your life at risk without you realizing it? What if I told you that many elderly people wake up during the night already on the edge of an emergency, and they don't even know why? After the age of 70, the body undergoes profound changes. The way you dine, the environment where you sleep, even the position in which you lie down. All of this can directly influence your heart, respiratory, and brain health. And the worst, they are common habits, repeated night after night, without anyone suspecting their silent effects. Today, you'll discover 9 mistakes that seem harmless, but that can dramatically increase your risk of heart attacks, strokes, and other nighttime hazards. Some of them are even committed almost every day. Let's get started. Habit 1. The signs during sleep that can be a cardiac arrest alert. Loud snoring, pauses in breathing, and choking during sleep are not only bothersome for those who share a room with you. These signs may be revealing a serious disorder that, if left untreated, considerably increases the risk of sudden death. Obstructive sleep apnea. After the age of 70, the airways tend to be more relaxed and flaccid at night. This favors the partial or total collapse of the air passage, preventing adequate oxygenation of the brain and heart. The result? Breathing pauses that can last precious seconds, and that overload your cardiovascular system. Each time the air stops circulating, the heart receives less oxygen. The brain goes into alert and releases a rush of adrenaline to wake up the body and restart breathing. This cycle repeats dozens or even hundreds of times a night without you even realizing it. And the danger does not stop there. Studies by the American Heart Association show that people with sleep apnea have up to twice the risk of suffering a heart attack or stroke during the night. This is because the lack of constant oxygen wears out the heart, raises blood pressure, and dysregulates the heartbeat. If you or someone close to you usually wakes up panting, feels extreme tiredness throughout the day, or has heard that you snore too loudly, these can be important signs. Another indication is the famous dry choking during sleep. That moment when it seems that the air locks for a few seconds. The good news is that there is treatment. Apnea can be diagnosed through a test called polysomnography, which evaluates the quality of sleep and the presence of breathing interruptions. In mild cases, changes in habits and sleeping position can help. In moderate or severe cases, the use of a device called CPAP can save lives by keeping the airways open throughout the night. If you snore loudly or wake up tired every day, don't ignore these signs. They may be the only warning your body is giving before a silent cardiac emergency. Habit 2. The common mistake at dinner that can lead to a heart attack. During the night, eating well is part of the culture of many families. But after age 70, what you eat, and especially the time you eat, can determine how your heart behaves during the night. Heavy meals close to bedtime overwhelm the digestive system at a time when the body should be slowing down. And this can generate an extremely dangerous domino effect for those who already have some cardiac predisposition. When you lie down on a full stomach, digestion is compromised. The production of gastric acid increases. Blood flow is concentrated in the digestive system, diverting it from other important functions. And in the meantime, the heart has to work harder to keep it all going. The result can be devastating: reflux, increased blood pressure, arrhythmias, and, in more severe cases, nocturnal cardiac events such as heart attack or stroke. Imagine the following scene. An elderly man has dinner at 9 in the evening, eats a plate full of pasta, meat, and dessert. Soon after, he lies down to watch television and ends up falling asleep. During the night, he begins to feel a tightness in his chest, a discomfort that can go unnoticed until the worst happens. This scenario, unfortunately, is not rare. Studies published in the scientific journal Circulation indicate that late and high-calorie dinners are associated with a higher incidence of sudden cardiac death during sleep in people over 65 years of age. In addition, for those suffering from diabetes or insulin resistance, eating late can cause glucose spikes. These variations, as the body tries to rest, increase metabolic stress and disrupt the deep sleep cycle. But there is a simple and effective solution. Bring forward your last meal to at least 3 hours before bedtime. Prefer light, high-fiber, low-fat foods. Fruits, light soups, or a soothing tea can be excellent choices for those who want to sleep peacefully and with a peaceful heart. Remember, your digestive system is no longer the same as it was 20 years ago. By adjusting the time and content of your dinner, you not only improve your digestion, but you drastically reduce the risks of a silent heart emergency during the night. Habit 3. Carelessness with your medicines that can cost you your life in an emergency. Imagine needing a life-saving medicine in the middle of the night and not being able to get it in time. This situation, unfortunately, is more common than you might think, and can be fatal for people over 70 years old. Many older people take important medicines for their heart, blood pressure, glucose control, or breathing problems. Some need medication at very specific times. Others, in case of chest pain, shortness of breath, or sudden malaise, rely on an emergency pill that needs to be ingested immediately. However, it is common for these medications to be stored in places that are difficult to access, in the kitchen cabinet, in a living room drawer, or even locked in organizing boxes. Now, imagine, you wake up at dawn with a severe pain in your chest. He is alone, he feels his body in a cold sweat and his blood pressure dropping. He needs the medicine, but he is far away. Every second counts, and the distance to the closet can be the difference between life and death. According to the Brazilian Society of Cardiology, more than 70% of sudden deaths occur outside the hospital environment, often during the night and without assistance. Having quick access to prescription medications for emergencies can significantly increase the chances of survival. In addition, some elderly people have difficulty walking, tremors, reduced vision, or mental confusion during the night. This makes it even more critical to keep medications organized and on hand. The recommendation is clear. Keep a box with your essential medicines next to your bed. Include everything you may need during the night, such as nitrate for chest pain, bronchodilators for shortness of breath, or medications for blood pressure and glucose, as directed by your doctor. Leave the package labeled with large letters and a flashlight nearby. If possible, also keep an emergency phone number within reach, with the contacts of family members or SAMU already recorded. And remember, never take any new medicine on your own, especially at night. Some medications can cause sudden drops in blood pressure, arrhythmias, or adverse reactions when combined with others. Always consult your doctor before making any changes to your medication. This simple and often forgotten care can be the difference between waking up the next day or not. Habit 4. The forced sleep that can silence your body forever. Sleeping well is essential for health, but forcing sleep with medicine can be one of the most dangerous habits for those over 70. Many people resort to sedatives or sleeping pills to black out at night, believing it to be harmless. But what seems like a quick fix can hide a deadly risk. Medications such as benzodiazepines and other sleep inducers act directly on the central nervous system. They slow down brain activity, induce relaxation, and cause the body to enter a state of deep sedation. The problem is that in elderly people, the body has greater difficulty metabolizing these substances. The cumulative effect can lead to respiratory depression, mental confusion, night falls, and, in extreme cases, cardiorespiratory arrest. Studies published in the British Medical Journal point out that the frequent use of sedatives in the elderly is associated with an increase of up to 4 times in the risk of sudden nocturnal death. This is because these drugs reduce the brain's level of vigilance. That is, the body's ability to react to an apnea episode, a drop in blood pressure, or an impending heart attack. In addition, sleeping pills can aggravate dementia, compromise memory, and increase the risk of falls. Imagine waking up during the night under the effect of a sedative, trying to go to the bathroom and falling on the way, suffering a fracture or head trauma. Another important point is the misuse of these drugs without prescription or medical monitoring. Many elderly people keep old pills stored at home and take them on their own when they have difficulty sleeping. This practice is extremely dangerous, as it can cause serious drug interactions, especially in those who already make continuous use of blood pressure, heart, or diabetes medications. The ideal is to look for other strategies to improve sleep safely. Dark, quiet environment, adequate temperature, quiet routine before bedtime, and, if necessary, treatments supervised by sleep specialists. If there is still a need for medication, let it be with the minimum possible dose and with regular medical follow-up. Sleep is important, but sleeping safely is essential. Sedation is not rest, and forcing the body to shut down can be a silent and dangerous path to a fatal emergency. Habit 5. The lack of preparation that turns a quiet night into a race against time. Have you ever thought about what would happen if you had a sudden illness during the night and no one knew? This is a real and growing risk among people over 70 who live alone or sleep in isolated environments without any form of warning or quick contact with help. Many seniors believe they are safe in their nightly routines, but what few people consider is that a fall, a silent heart attack, a crisis of shortness of breath, or even a fainting spell can occur suddenly. And when it happens, time is the most valuable factor. Having an overnight emergency plan can be the difference between getting help on time or only being found hours later when it may be too late. One of the most common mistakes is not having any kind of alert device or strategy on hand during the night. No nearby phones, emergency buttons, or accessible doorbells. And when the body fails, even screaming can be impossible. According to the World Health Organization, nocturnal falls and cardiac events not attended to in a timely manner are among the leading causes of mortality in older adults living alone. These events are often preventable, as long as there is a rapid response system in place. What to do then? Start by organizing the room with a focus on safety. Keep a charged cell phone next to the bed with speed dial programmed for emergency contacts. Install automatic nightlights that turn on with movement, preventing falls in the dark. Consider wearing bracelets or necklaces with an alert button which send a direct call to a family member or emergency service. Another tip is to arrange with someone you trust a daily sign of life. A simple good morning message every day can be enough to indicate that everything is okay. And if it is missing, it will be a warning sign. These precautions may seem exaggerated, but they are extremely valuable. A nocturnal crisis doesn't warn you, it just happens. And when it happens, the time until first aid defines the outcome. Life after 70 should be lived with fullness and peace, and part of that peace is knowing that if something happens, you are not helpless. Habit 6. The temperature of your bedroom may be overwhelming your heart. Have you ever woken up during the night sweating, with your heart racing and a strange feeling in your chest? It may seem like just heat, but for those over 70, sleeping in an environment that is too hot can be a real risk to life. As we age, the body loses efficiency in regulating temperature. The ability to sweat decreases, circulation slows down, and the heart has to work harder to maintain thermal balance. And all this is aggravated when the room is stuffy, without ventilation, with heavy bedding or thermostats adjusted for high temperatures. During sleep, the body naturally lowers its internal temperature to reach the deepest stage of rest. But when the environment is too hot, this process is interrupted. The result is shallow, fragmented sleep, with greater cardiac effort and, in extreme cases, risk of dehydration, increased blood pressure, and arrhythmias. Studies by the Sleep Foundation indicate that elderly people exposed to hot environments at night have a higher risk of nighttime tachycardia, chronic insomnia, and even strokes. Excessive heat can also cause mental confusion upon waking, dizziness, and falls, especially in the early hours of the morning. It is important to remember that, at night, the body needs to rest, not compensate for thermal imbalances. If the heart needs to pump more blood to try to cool the body, it is being required just when it should be relaxing. How to solve this in a practical way? Adjust the temperature of the room between 16 and 20 degrees Celsius, considered ideal for deep sleep. Use lightweight, breathable bedding such as cotton or allergy-friendly fabrics. Avoid heavy blankets, especially if the weather is mild. Let the air circulate. A half-open window or a fan with an oscillating function can make all the difference. If you feel cold easily, opt for layers. It is better to keep warm with light clothes overlapping than to create an oven with covers that do not let the heat escape. Sleeping in a suitable environment is not just a matter of comfort, it is a cardiovascular protection measure. Take care of your rest space. It can be the most powerful ally to preserve your life while you sleep. Habit 7. The impulsive movement that can make you faint on the way to the bathroom. Imagine getting up in the middle of the night, feeling an urgent urge to go to the bathroom. You get up quickly from the bed, take 2 steps, and everything darkens. You pass out. This is one of the most dangerous accidents for those over 70 years old, and it can happen more often than you think. This phenomenon has a name: postural hypotension. This is when blood pressure drops sharply when changing position, such as when going from lying down to standing, and the brain does not receive enough blood for a few seconds. The result is sudden dizziness, blurred vision, weakness in the legs, and often a fainting spell followed by a fall. The combination of nighttime factors makes this situation even riskier. During sleep, blood pressure tends to get lower. If the person is dehydrated, uses blood pressure medication or sedatives, the risk increases even more. And when the body is demanded abruptly, it cannot react in time. The impact of a fall during the night can be devastating: hip fractures, head trauma, internal bleeding, and even the impossibility of calling for help if the person is unconscious on the ground. According to the Brazilian Society of Geriatrics and Gerontology, nocturnal falls are responsible for 1 in 3 hospitalizations of elderly people due to trauma, and most happen on the way to the bathroom. But this can be avoided with simple and effective measures. The first of them: never get out of bed abruptly. When you wake up, remain seated for a few seconds. Take a deep breath. Feel the body. Then, place your feet on the floor and only then stand up slowly. Lighting is also key. Lights with a presence sensor or dim lampshades near the floor help maintain orientation without harming vision or over-awakening the brain. Avoid loose carpets, furniture in the way, and slippery floors. Another important tip is to avoid excessive fluid consumption at night, as we have explained before, and talk to the doctor about possible adjustments in medications that affect blood pressure. Your body needs time to adapt between states of rest and movement. Respecting this interval is respecting your health, and it can prevent life-changing accidents forever. Habit 8. The habit of drinking water before bed that can lead to serious falls. Drinking water is essential for health, but for those over 70 years old, the moment when this hydration happens can make all the difference between a quiet night and a serious accident. It is common to hear that we should keep the body well hydrated throughout the day. However, drinking large volumes of fluid in the hours before sleep can cause a known but underestimated side effect: the need to get up several times at night to urinate, a condition called nocturia. The problem is not just fragmented sleep. Every time you get up to go to the bathroom in the dark, with your body still slow and sleepy, you increase your risk of falls, fainting, and serious domestic accidents. Many elderly people face motor limitations, use medications that affect balance, or have compromised vision. This combination, associated with frequent trips to the bathroom during the night, can be extremely dangerous. According to data from the National Institute of Traumatology and Orthopedics, most falls in the elderly occur at night, and many are related to trying to get to the bathroom in a hurry. Risks range from fractures to head trauma, which can be fatal in older people. In addition, constantly interrupting sleep compromises the production of melatonin, the hormone responsible for regulating the sleep cycle and promoting deep rest. As a result, the body remains in a state of partial alert, increasing cardiovascular stress and reducing immunity. So, how do you balance the need for hydration with nighttime safety? The solution lies in planning fluid intake throughout the day. Drink plenty of water in the morning and during the afternoon, and gradually reduce the amount from late afternoon. Avoid drinking large volumes of tea, juices, or water after 7 p.m. If you feel thirsty close to bedtime, take only small sips, enough to relieve dry mouth, but without overdoing it. Another tip is to monitor diuretic medications, which increase urine production. Talk to your doctor about the best time to take them, preventing their effect from concentrating at night. Preserving your sleep and your safety is a matter of strategy, not deprivation. Sleeping with a quiet bladder may be more important to your health than it seems. Habit 9. The position in bed that may be squeezing your heart while you sleep. Sleeping seems like a simple action, but for those over 70, the way you lie down may be putting a silent strain on your heart, night after night. The position in which we sleep directly affects breathing, blood circulation, and the functioning of internal organs. And, with aging, these functions become more sensitive to small changes. What previously did not cause discomfort can now pose a real risk. Sleeping on your back, for example, may seem comfortable, but this position favors the relaxation of the tongue and throat tissues, partially blocking the airways. This blockage can cause intense snoring, choking, and especially sleep apnea, a potentially lethal disorder if left untreated. Apnea reduces oxygenation of the brain and heart. This forces the heart to work harder, increases blood pressure, and causes micro-awakenings throughout the night. In the long term, this overload can lead to heart failure, arrhythmias, and even sudden death. In addition, sleeping on the right side, although common, can compromise venous return, especially in people with heart failure. This is because the weight of the body puts pressure on the side of the heart that receives the blood. The result can be worsening swelling in the legs, accumulation of fluid in the lungs, and increased fatigue throughout the day. So, what is the safest position? Experts recommend sleeping preferably on the left side. This position favors circulation, reduces pressure on the heart, and improves digestion, especially in people with reflux or hiatal hernia. In addition, it prevents the collapse of the airways, reducing apnea episodes. For those who have difficulty maintaining this position at night, using a pillow between your knees or a body pillow can help stabilize posture. It prevents you from unintentionally rolling back into unfavorable positions. Another important tip is to slightly elevate the head of the bed or use an anatomical pillow, which keeps the neck aligned and the airways open. The simple act of turning the right way can save your life. The position in which you sleep may seem like a detail, but in old age, details make all the difference. Now that you know the 9 nighttime habits that can put your life at risk after age 70, it's time to pause and reflect. How many of these habits are part of your routine? How many of them seemed harmless until now? The truth is that danger often hides in the small details. In a meal made too late, in a glass of water that seemed harmless, on the badly positioned pillow, in the stuffy room, in the absence of a phone nearby. Simple things, but that, taken together, can have a profound impact on your health and safety. The good news is that you can change that right now. It is not necessary to transform the entire routine at once. Just start with a habit. Adjust the sleeping position. Drink water at the right time. Rearrange the medicines next to the bed. Call someone you trust and arrange a nighttime emergency plan. Every little attitude counts. And together, they can ensure that you wake up every day with more security, more energy, and more peace of mind. Remember, sleeping is an act of surrender, and you deserve to rest knowing that you are protected, attentive to your body's signals, and taking care of your health wisely. Starting today, choose to sleep with awareness, because what you do at night can determine what your tomorrow will look like.